Star of Vanderpump Rules Rachel Leviss talked about her cautious dating comeback on her podcast, emphasizing that she prefers emotionally sophisticated relationships after taking a year off to focus on her own development. Leviss claims that after her widely publicized affair incident with former castmate Tom Sandoval, dating a nice person has been difficult for her. Additionally, Rachel Leviss described her recovery after the Sandoval incident in the Meadows treatment facility, where she carried a shame backpack full of disparaging remarks. Leviss discussed her standards for future relationships with Love Undercover's Renee Ash in a recent episode of her podcast, Rachel Goes Rogue. After her well-reported relationship with Sandoval ended last year, Leviss stated she's now more cautious while dating. She told People, "I've taken a year off from dating to work on myself. It just didn't work out, even though I met someone with whom I had amazing communication and who was quite emotionally knowledgeable and well-regulated now that I'm going back out there and meeting new people." She continued, perhaps alluding to businessman Matthew Dunn, with whom she revealed seeing in April, "I've kind of been seeing somebody else, and it's been fun in a fling. He's just so sweet, so kind, and it really does make a difference." In spite of bad experiences in the past, Ash and Leviss talked about the significance of appreciating men's generosity on the show. According to Leviss, this sounds so corny, like a standard things you would just have as fundamental relationship benchmarks. The Vanderpump Rules actress acknowledged that it is difficult for her to see a future with kind men because of her past poisonous and abusive relationships. She said, "It's difficult for me to be with a nice guy and think of it as a serious long-term thing. He is not my spouse in my opinion." Like Leviss, Ash stated that she is trying to normalize kindness in her dating life instead than justifying terrible conduct. Leviss continued by saying that understanding different kinds of men helps women discover their own wants. She remarked, "I think that in order to find a good balance, we need to experience that sweetness and that other side of the spectrum." Following the Sandoval controversy, Leviss disclosed that she admitted herself to the Meadows, an Arizona mental health treatment facility. The 29-year-old reality personality talked about her recovery. She talked about letting go of the disagreement with her former co-star Ariana Madix through an exercise. She clarified that one of the assignments was to make a shame backpack. "Basically, I was told to write down everything cruel that I could remember being said to me. Everything I could recall was said and done to me, including names, insults, and disparaging remarks." She also mentioned that every piece of paper Leviss scribbled on was turned into a book by the facility, which she carried about. She claimed it was extremely, very heavy. "For a week, I had to carry the bag everywhere I went." While the shame backpack did hurt my back, Leviss acknowledged throughout the conversation, it also helped her see how she was recovering. "I had to read all of the comments while working through this assignment with my therapist, and she indicated that when I did, she asked me whether I wanted to take them on and live with them forever. I said, no, I don't. I was also told to shred up every piece of paper." Leviss reported that another center resident saw a newspaper that week that had a headline regarding her liaison with Madix's ex-boyfriend, Tom Sandoval. There was a photo of Leviss and Madix on the main page. "It's so wild that it literally made its way into the Meadows rehab facility," she remarked, referring to the item she carried in her shame bag. "When I finally got my hands on this during the week of my project, it felt a little strange. That taught me not to internalize all of the hate and shame directed at me, because carrying that burden makes life much harder," she concluded. Following the consequences from her highly publicized romance with Sandoval, Leviss appears to have turned her life around and is currently seeing businessman Matthew Dunn. Leviss' spokesperson acknowledged that the two were an item in a conversation with People magazine, stating, "It's a little too soon to jump to any labels." The publicist said, "They are friends who are just getting to know each other. They met a little over a month ago. They are hanging around after meeting." The former Vanderpump Rules actress Rachel Goes Rogue talked candidly about her recent experiences and her preferences for potential partners on the most recent episode of her podcast. After a turbulent relationship with her former co-star Tom Sandoval the previous year, Rachel disclosed that she put her own development first and took a break from dating. In an honest statement, Leviss said, "I've taken a year off from dating to work on myself. And since I'm going back out there and making new friends, things haven't worked out. I met someone with whom I had fantastic communication and who was also very emotionally sophisticated and controlled. While talking about a recent romance, Rachel made hints about her connection with businessman Matthew Dunn, who she had earlier this year revealed to be her partner. He's just so lovely and kind, and it really does make a difference. I've kind of been dating somebody else, and it's been fun and a fling, she said. During the conversation with Renee Ash of Love Undercover, Leviss talked on the importance of kindness in relationships. She acknowledged that her toxic background has made it difficult for her to imagine a future with really nice guys. Rachel said, "It's difficult for me to be with a nice guy and think of it as a serious long-term thing. I don't think of him as my spouse." As she considered their common experiences, Ash underlined how crucial it is to normalize partners' compassion. In order to strike a healthy balance, Leviss continued, "I think we need to experience that sweetness and that other side of the spectrum." Following a difficult time following her breakup with Sandoval, Rachel made mental health a priority and sought therapy at the Meadows recovery facility in Arizona. She decided not to return to Vanderpump Rules and has since been outspoken about her struggle. Leviss and Matthew's developing romance was verified by People in April, with the clarification that they were taking their time getting to know one another and not hurrying into making any snap decisions. Rachel even posted a video of her and Dunn having a good time on an ATV ride on social media with the message, "More of this, please." Leviss is upbeat about what lies ahead as she keeps looking into new partnerships and putting her health first.